Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is youth entrepreneurship, and we have with us to talk about youth entrepreneurship and other related areas dealing with how young people might become involved in business, Mr. Jerome Davis. Mr. Davis is the director of CESA Associates located here in Nashville. And with Mr. Davis is Mr. JTaylor. Taylor is a student in the junior class at Whites Creek High School in Nashville, Tennessee. And of course, Mr. Taylor will give us some additional information relative to how he became involved with CESA Associates. But before we get into that, Mr. Davis, let's have you and later Mr. JTaylor to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in your lives in bringing you to this particular moment. Let's start with you, Mr. Davis, as the director of CESA Associates.
I'm originally from Ohio and actually attended the University of Cincinnati and actually was recruited by a company here in Nashville to come work at that point with college students with the Southwestern Publishing Company, which is probably about the second oldest company here in Nashville, and they probably work with more college students than anyone. And from that experience, I was able to go and work with a younger group of people in a youth capacity. And at that point, from then until now, that's kind of been my story.
And so you've always been involved in terms of trying to deal with business and youth, and you've made that kind of early connection as the director of CESA Associates. Is that essentially what we're saying?
Yes, correct.
Jeffrey, what about you? Why don't you talk about some of the things that were important in your background and eventually leading you to this particular moment?
Well, as you said, yes, my name is JTaylor and I attend Whites Creek High School. I'm a junior. I'm on the varsity football team and varsity track team, and those are just a few outside things that I enjoy doing. And actually, I became involved with Youth About Business through Mr. Sam Kirk, who's the president of CES. And it came about because when I was younger, we attended the same church, Mount Calvary Baptist Church. And my mom caught up with him a little bit later, and that's how I got involved in the program.
And so, Mr. Davis, you've got a program here that is established by the CESA Associates, and the program is called Youth About Business. Let's talk about Youth Without Business from your perspective in terms of what this program is attempting to do to the community and to these young people.
We just felt that it was important to start. You know, the age group that we work with is a 10 to 18-year-old age group, but we just felt that it was important. At that age 10, we're using the term right now, young people are becoming very aware. And we just felt it was important that they were aware of business, considering that at some point they were going to have to deal with business in their lives. Our slant is more so on entrepreneurism, teaching young people about the importance of entrepreneurism, whether they want to be or don't want to be. We feel it's an important aspect that they need to learn.
Now, in dealing with young people and entrepreneurship, what are you finding in terms of the reception? I know Jeffrey is here with us, and he represents your attempts at trying to make young people acquainted with business, but what about the reception that you're finding among some of the others? Why don't you talk about the scope of the program that you're now involved in?
Well, I think that, you know, young people get excited about new programs regardless of what they are, but one of the things I'm always telling young people, and I think this is a true statement, is that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. You know, everyone can't own their own business, but we still feel like learning the mechanics of business is really going to help you. But the young people that we've been working with have been very receptive. They've done some incredible things in our 8-year history.
Jeffrey, when you think in terms of your peers, people who you might know at Whites Creek High School, and you talk about what you are involved in, and there's no doubt that certainly you're probably a special student in the sense that not many students are involved in entrepreneurship and doing the things that you're doing. But what do you tell them in terms of trying to attract them to the program?
Well, mainly what we as young people get excited about the flashy things. So a lot of the times when I go and I try to recruit someone to become a part of Youth About Business, I tell them about a trip that we went to You know, we take big trips annually. Like next year we're going to Trinidad. We just came back from the Bahamas. So a lot of the times I tell them about the fun stuff that we like to do, and that really sparks them.
And so, Mr. Davis, he's saying that that you actually make annual trips. Give us a little information about this Youth About Business program from its inception, about its history, how it has developed up to this point.
I mean, well, one of the things that we're trying to teach young people is there's no free ride. So the young people that we work with understand very clearly that if you want to play hard, you've got to work hard. So they go out and do business projects, and I think Jeffrey's been on several of the trips where they actually have gone out and raised money via business projects to go skiing. These young people have went to the Bahamas, they've been to Jamaica, but a lot of different exotic places that some of their parents have never even been, but they were able to go just based on their own efforts.
And so all of this is part of youth entrepreneurship, and it's the kind of thing that you are trying to encourage, and that Jeffrey is a part of. How many people do you have involved in such a program?
We've got about 150 young people in this program at this point.
And so they're scattered out across. Give us some information about that. I mean, how are they represented in that program?
Well, we're headquartered here in Nashville. We've got about 3 chapters of Youth About Business here in Nashville. However, we do have a chapter in Texas right now that has been going for about 3 years. Our eventual goal is to take Youth About Business nationwide and really have it in all cities.
And so what we have here in Nashville is only one branch or one franchise of an idea dealing with youth about business, youth becoming involved in entrepreneurship. And this has been going on for the last 3 years. And now what you're trying to do is not only use it in Nashville, but to replicate it throughout the nation. And you've been quite successful here. Now, what are some of the successes that you can tell us about what you've been able to achieve here in Nashville?
Well, I mean, I think just for the simple fact, we've got a youth corporation that, and can you tell me how much money they actually, you all generated last year? What was total sales in terms of, you know, they do business projects, and their youth company, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was about $55,000 they did as their own company. And for young people to even do something, there are some businesses out here that actually don't generate that type of money in a year. And I think those things, the fact that these young people are getting to take trips, and also as of late, we actually have a couple of youth businesses that they've started up, you know, themselves.
Now, why don't you say something about those? What kind of businesses are we talking about, and how successful have these businesses been up to this point?
Well, one of the businesses they have a little specialty company where, because we're always working with a lot of business owners, we found that they have some needs from a specialty item perspective, and they formed a specialty company that provides pins and T-shirts and buttons and all these little things, promotional ideas for companies, that a lot of these companies have been willing to give these young people a shot at doing business with them because they believe in what they've been doing. They also, as of late, have started up a little youth dry cleaners where they have a shop, and they handle all the books and they handle all the customers, and these young people are really practically doing business here in town.
And the assumption, I would imagine, is that if they can start at this young age becoming successful in what they're doing in the dry cleaning business or in the retail business, that they will be sort of inclined or encouraged more than anything to continue that kind of activity, and a young business owner becomes an old business owner, and it increases the number of business owners.
It's just a seed. I mean, what we're doing is we're planting a seed and trying to nurture and take care of that seed, and who knows what that seed is going to become at some point.
And so this is Youth About Business this particular franchise of it is headquartered here in Nashville, and you've got 125 or 30 odd individuals already involved in it, and you're really collecting, not only collecting money, but making money and distributing money. And of course, we're going to talk about some of the other things that you're involved in following this short commercial break. And we'll be back with you following this short commercial break.